Good afternoon. At this point on a Friday, which it is, I'd be putting a video up, but due to a pain in the neck eBay seller, I haven't been able to do it. I ordered a part for the carburetors on Monday, I think it was, expecting to get it through within sort of 2 days. Didn't happen. I'd like to say thank you to the subscriber that gave me all the details. I have ordered a spread bore plate that I think will work. If it doesn't, then it just needs stacking up with other plates, which I'll make out of steel. Anyway, that's a story for another day. In the meanwhile, I've been looking around here wondering, what do I do? I like to put videos out as much as I possibly can, but I've noticed that some of them are getting a bit boring and I seem to waffle on. So my future plans, yep, another one of them. Well, we've got 2 motorcycles in there that need sorting out, so they've got to come out at some point during the summer months. I've got to clean them up and make my mind up what I'm going to do with them. I was planning on triking one of them, but I can't find anybody to help me with the pulley, which is at Vegas, so that could just end up going up the sale and getting rid. This whole thing, we don't want that no more. I was thinking about taking the engine out and putting a smaller engine in, but you know what, I generally don't want it. Nobody else does either. It's just sitting there doing nothing. So that is that's going to go to scrap. I'm going to be cutting that up, taking all the good bits off, putting them in boxes and stashing them, and then the rest of it will just end up, which will be the frame, probably down the scrap yard, because I really can't be asked to pull it apart separately to take the engine out, so I'm just going to chop it. Ferrari body over there will be going on eBay very soon just to get rid of it. It's only the back end of one, but it should make some good yard art or something. And then we've got this whole thing sitting here, which I'm still working on. I can't do nothing to this at the moment. I need to get this at the top of the garden. I can do that once all that area has been sorted out, but until that carburetor is fitted and I've got this running properly, that's just going to have to stay where it is. And we obviously don't want to upset people. We've been doing enough of that lately, apparently. So this is going to have to stay where it is. I was going to put a bed liner on it, and I'm going to buy one of those bed liner rollers. It's like a bristly, plasticky roller. I happened to notice somebody using one on YouTube a few weeks ago, and I thought, that is what I need. And then I can power wash that down with the power washer and sand and get all the rust off, and then we can just roll it. And once I've done that, the window can be replaced. I'm not going to bother with the split screen. I can't justify the cost. Things are getting a little out of hand with this. The mud guards, well, I think I might go on take them off now, because they droop down. I don't like it. So I'm going to put my wheels on temporary to get it level while it's here at some point, and I'm going to make up some mud guards that look very similar to a power wagon. As people have made a comment in the past that it looks like a power wagon, it does a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. And well, it is my old off-roader. That's what I'm building it for, and for car shows where I'm probably going to get annihilated by the Morris Minor fraternity, so I shall go out of my way to park next to them, knowing full well that the eyebrows will be moving and the heads will be sinking, and my dog is pooping in the grass, and I just caught that on camera. Okay, right, so we can't really get this out the front yet until this is out of the way. We don't want it. I thought about it, I did think about it. Do I continue? I seem to be on a losing battle financially with this anyway. I think it's time for this to either go into somebody else's yard to be built and finished, or just literally I strip out what I want from it for the next build. I mean, I personally think it's got a lot of potential still, but not out of my financial pocket, because I just can't do it. But what I do want to do is I want to get this camper body started. I said to the wife this morning, if I build this, are we definitely going to use it? That was the subject of the conversation with her this morning. Are we definitely going to use it? She said, well, it'll be handy for you, won't it? I think what she's trying to say is I want you to bugger off every so often. I think that's the way she was going with that. But it would be nice to have a camper body. There's a lot of things I'd like to do. I'd like to do some metal detecting on North Yorkshire Beach. I think that's on the north. Something up there I'm highly interested in scavenging up, and just literally going around the countryside really. She is a lot cheaper to run than a Smiley Transit of its day, but because fuel prices are now higher, it's now the equivalent of a Smiley Transit of that day, if you see what I'm saying. Because when I had a Smiley Transit, fuel prices were 80p a litre, and now we're at 130, 140 a litre in most average areas of the UK. In some places a lot higher, depends where you go. So it's got the fuel economy there. It's got the enjoyment factor. It's not the fastest thing in the world, and it don't need to be with me because I love my throttle, unfortunately. So what I am thinking of doing, I need to get this started first. I thought hard about it. This can't go until I know exactly what I need to take out of this. But not only that, I've got this space here, and if I clear it, the wife was talking about digging all this lot up and putting some rose bushes in, and I thought, well, if I clear it, I've actually got a good spot to build this thing where people can't see what I'm doing and I can't annoy people. So the first thing I need to do is to plan how this is going to be built. Now, I could use what's already here and just make it in a portable tent in a sense. So pull the tailgate down, get a canopy built to go over the back, material, put a double bed in there, hang off a barbie somewhere on a table and just camp like that. But that won't allow me to wild camp, pull up in a lay-by one night when I'm tired and I just want to crash, or I can't find a campsite that is open and is forgiving on home-built vehicles. It happens. So no, I thought about it hard this morning. I was thinking about it last night because it's my birthday yesterday, and I was thinking to myself, do you know what, I could have gone out on my birthday, but we didn't. We were stuck in this ratty town. So yeah, my thoughts are, let's get this done first. At least get the framework, the steel work done, and then we can move to pulling out what I know I'm going to need from here. We've got things like the toilet I want to pull out. It's an absolute shame, really, because I put a lot of time and money into this, and it was almost there. I mean, this is my proudest. I absolutely love this cooking area with the beer mats. I've got to reintroduce that into the other one. We've got to get a load of pipe in as well, copper pipe, because of what I did here. Now I know how to do it. I know it can be done again and better. So what do I want from this? Quite simple. I want, and my wife is using it as her personal shed at the moment, just getting on my nerves. I want my toilet out of here. Unfortunately, I cannot salvage the plastic, and that weren't cheap. There was 60 quid's worth of plastic going to that. Another one of my proudest moments of construction. But yeah, not to be. I can take a couple of the doors off as and where I need them, like that wardrobe door, the drawers, I can take them out. Possibly that will do for the other toilet. Tabletop maybe, but it's a heavy old thing, and weight is an issue with this one. It's a big issue. There's an inverter locked away in here. There's a night heater in here I would like my control panels out so I can reintroduce them into the new build. Master switches for the batteries. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do much with the splashbacks. I might be able to take the two bottom ones out because they're square, but the top ones, I don't think I'll be able to use them unless I take that unit out. I might do that. The water heater is too big, unfortunately, to fit in the other one. It's quite a whopping great affair, so that will stay in here. The oven will stay in here, I don't need that. I have got a camping stove in the shed that I'm planning on using, so it's got a grill underneath it, it's got a couple of hobs on top. Doesn't need to be anything flash, we are not going down that road, so that might find its way in here with a stainless steel surround all the way around it, just to keep the heat back with these splashbacks that you see in the background, because I love those. I think they are so cool. A lot of those were from the 60s and the 70s that I bought. A lot of collectors were probably frowning on me when I did it, but I don't care, because they are really cool, some of these. Like, for example, the Tolly Cobbled. that don't exist anymore. Tollies don't exist anymore. The factory went bust, and I believe another company in Bury St Edmunds bought the rights to produce the Tollies. Now, whether the drinks taste the same or not, I do not know, because I have never drunk it before. I never drank it before they went bust, nor did I drink it when I after. The building that you see here still exists. It's still down there on the dock, empty. Nobody, as far as I am aware, nobody has used it or made use of it. So yeah, and at some point we've got to finish the wood burner off that I was building in the shed, because it's somewhere inside this truck, and I don't know how all this lot is going to fit, but I want a wood burner in there with a chimney that can be detached, which is going to be pretty damn difficult. I've also got to seriously consider the amount of overhang that I'm going to have on this as well, because you can see that bed is not a very big bed. If this was a single door instead of a 4-door, the bed would be about here somewhere, roughly. So I'd have all of that extra space to play around with, which is a lot. I don't have a lot on this. I've got to get 2 people in this plus a dog. That's not a lot of room. Not a lot at all. I also want to utilise the tow hitch, because if I decide to go to Wales for some off-roading, I don't want to do it in this. I'd like to drag that other thing in the garden, which means I need to use the tow hitch. But I do need another overhang of at least a foot here. Now, if I was to base this on the width of a box van, and or a caravan even, and had extended mirrors, then I can bring the width right out to here, so I can make this another foot wider if need be. But that's a lot of overhang, and that worries me a little bit. We'll be bringing the height up to the roof line here, and then we're going to have a double bed up the top, but this is going to have a roof that lifts, so it'll have wooden sides that will flip out and lock into place, and there'll be 2 gas rams each side, and the roof will pop up on that with some assistance from electric rams, which I happen to have underneath here that have got to be salvaged as well. So I have almost everything on the mechanics. Now, construction, what the hell are we going to build it out of? I thought about this hard, and I thought it's got to be cheap and it's got to be light. So there's several options open to me at the moment, and one of them is tongue and groove wood. That's quite a lightweight wood. If I can get birch, I believe is the wood, tongue and groove birch, that would be ideal, because it's got a rot proofer on it. Natural oil will sort that issue out, so we could build basically a steel frame on the bed, and then we go up each corner with another bar going across, a bar going up here, a bar coming up here, and then box all of this area in either with steel or wood, whichever. There is 2 wheel arches I've got to figure out, you see, and then angle iron all the way around, coming right out to here, coming across, and then going down for a door. The door top will hinge as well, and then we've just got to find something to fill in with. So it'll probably be cheap plywood, possibly on the outside, with sandwich construction with ply on the inside, and then I might, because this is not going to be done in a few months, this is going to take me right the way through to next summer. So at that point I can epoxy the whole thing, hopefully. Sorry about that, posty. So yeah, tongue and groove could go on the inside, or tin plywood on the inside, or a tongue and groove on the outside. But instead of having the detail groove facing outside, have it on the inside. So I've just got flat wood running down with like a 1mm gap between each one, and I can then varnish that all up, and that should be more than adequate as a covering for inside and outside. There is another alternative that might be cheap, really thin caravan aluminium. So I could plywood the base bit. We don't need to alley that because it's inside. It will be on top of this plastic, so water will run between those gaps. So that can be wood, no issues with that whatsoever. I could even fiberglass over the top, seal it. and on the inside if need be as well. Doesn't really need to be insulated either because we've got air pockets below, so but from experience of a transit van it would be a good idea to put at least 1 inch polystyrene underneath with some plywood on top of that, so we could go 3-4 mil on the bottom and then glass it, and then we could go 5 mil on the top for strength to walk on just for the floor, but the sides could just be the 4 mil stuff. Where to get that from? Definitely not B&Q. That stuff falls apart as soon as it gets wet. I've already found that out the hard way when I was building that, and I left some lying around, so that is not the ideal stuff. It's Chinese constructed plywood, it comes from rubber trees, it's recycled, it's good for the environment, but it falls apart. They don't use the correct glue. Genuinely guys, it falls apart, it's terrible. The best wood I found cheap, but you don't get cutting with it, is at Wicks, so I will be buying my wood at Wicks. That's a better quality wood. So we wood all that up, we insulate it, wood it all up, we've got an angle iron running all the way around, and then after that we then get some battens and we start building a wooden construct which will come right out to here, so the angle will come out and around, and then we start building up all the way around this box area here. We don't take it any far forward, we only bring it to here, and then we have several choices of that. Caravan alley we can whack out on, not a problem, with polyurethane boards between, plywood on the inside, nothing spectacular, or we can make it a bit more rugged so it looks like it was made for off-road use, and we can cover the whole thing in checker plate if we want to, but we need to find some seriously thin checker plate because that stuff on its own is quite heavy. Or we can go tongue and groove on the outside as well, or even plywood if need be, and then we can glass over the top of that with a skim of glass fibre and matting, and then we can bed line that all up if we didn't want to look at the wood. It all depends on the look that I'm looking for, and at the moment it's cost. Now the lifts, the rams, you're probably saying, well, how are you actually planning to do that? Honest truth, haven't got a clue. One idea was using dollies from trailers and modifying those somehow, but the problem is they have their turn handle at the top, and whatever I use needs to be on the side. Now I could link a motor to that, but they're not really that efficient. They need a lot of power to move them, so again I'm not really sure. Now I could use the electric ones that are underneath there, but carrying all that weight I'd need more than 6, so that may not be an option either. So at the moment I can't answer that question. Right, picture. Okay, that's in its flat pack state, so that little line there that you see going underneath is where the hinge point is, and there's like a little cap that will come down like a top hat type thing, so it will sit a little bit left and right as demonstrated here in this picture here. As you can see, the line is thicker, but that's where the roof is actually split over the top to seal it. So that's what she should look like roughly, give or take a few alterations, but toilet, main window, and a little window there. This is the bed space above. This is in a flat pack state. You can see the differences between the two. So that's what I came up with that. And then the back view, this is a flat pack. The door has a hinge point in there, so that will flop over. Probably on the inside. Well, I say that, I mean, it might flip on the outside, or it might just be something that I'll have to clip into place. But once the sides are folded up, there's 4 of them, they'll lock in. There'll be some latches each side, like little clip latches, similar to this. Something close to that kind of system, which may be on the outside, but I know that people might twiddle around with them. So what I'm going to do also is there are going to be some latches on the inside along the roof line, spring-loaded gate hinges or something that lock into position. So if somebody does come along and unlatch everything, they still can't push it in, because it just won't be possible. And then you've got your flat version there, and then the interior. This is the fun bit. So this is the double bed here, and that's where the tray extends out, so you get the full max bed space, which will be sitting up above there. you got your oven and you got your sink, and then here is the space if I can work it. And this is only if I can work it, for the wood burner to sit on and the night heater to go in underneath. Over here is the toilet, here is a wardrobe, but the wardrobe could be thrown out of the window as an idea as yet, so we'll see what room we've got, because I'm not sure how scaled I've got this to what I've got going on around the rest of it. Door opens up at the back, the toilet room slides outwards to extend the room space with another doorway each side of it, so you can still walk through if you have to. When you finish your business, you just slide the door back in, backwards and forwards, and then you've got your seating area there and a seating area there, and there'll be a table in the middle, and that's pretty it really. That's just bog standard. I'd say the overhang in this picture at the moment is about a foot all in. That might be too much. Well, we will see when we start. So there you go. Right. So other than that, I can't really give you anything else now. I'm pretty much washed out on ideas. I'll try and upload a video, but I went upstairs just now and my computer was having weird fits. Somebody's tried to hack it. Screen went black, so I'll turn it back on in a minute and hope for the best. So if you see this video, you know something weird was going on. What, I don't know. So look, this is the situation on everything that I have explained. Everything is sort of locked in like a jigsaw puzzle. One thing can't start without something else being dealt with first, and so forth. Hopefully that carburetor bracket will come next week. It's come from China. A little shitbag has advertised it as being somewhere like Yorkshire or something. I think I've dealt with this guy before, and he's either an agent who's directly ordered it himself and got it cheap on Wish or something, or what, I don't know. I'm absolutely annoyed to hell with him. So yeah, it is what it is, and hopefully we'll get that back and we can move on with the carburetor. So in the meanwhile, new video next week, and I'm hoping if it don't rain on me and it don't get too hot, we'll start the frame for the bed that we've got to build inside, and we'll have a tiny clear up, and if we can afford it, which I don't think I can at the moment, we'll see if we can make some kind of bench up here, even if it's just putting 4x4s into the ground and a piece of ply over the top, you know. We'll see what we can come up with, because we will need a bench to work on around here, and I've got nothing here, and the bench in the shed, well, you're using the space I've got in there. I've run out of space. I need to have a sort through and chuck some stuff out, because it's just too much. I can't work in there, can't figure it all out. So there you go. Anyway, from sunny Suffolk, I will see you next week, and thanks for putting up with this here video. See you soon.